and welcome to the Bravos Luxury Living podcast. I'm here with my friend Keith from Dallas. Hey, Keith, how are you?
Fantastic as always.
So we've had lots of questions. We've talked about something called a kaleidescape over the last
Mhm.
few episodes, and we've had lots of questions from people about what it is and how it works. And people are really, know their Apple TV or they know a Blu-ray, but they don't really know about Kaleidescape. So we thought rather than you and I making up any more answers, we would bring in a professional into this arena. And so we're very pleased to now to welcome, I should say, Amanda Davis, the Senior Marketing Manager Programs for Kaleidescape. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Nigel. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's just start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. What is a kaleidescape?
Thanks for asking. That is such a good question. So I love Kaleidescape. Kaleidescape is the ultimate movie platform for home cinema. So we are the only digital movie provider with lossless audio and full reference quality video. And so we consist of basically a server and a movie player. So your movies are downloaded from our movie store and they're stored securely on your server in your home, and they're played back on any movie player throughout the home, essentially. We've got over 14,000 movies, TV series, and concerts in our movie library. And because we were sort of purpose built for the home cinema market to begin with, we have metadata cues that we've embedded into all of our movies so that we integrate with control systems. For example, like if you want to dim your lights for your movie, press play, and Kaleidescape will automatically trigger your lighting system to dim the lights. It's to set the mood for your movie. So it's sort of like bringing the movie theater home through Kaleidescape.
So you've said so many things there that I want to dig into, but just to make sure that people listening to this kind of have context, can we just start by kind of comparing the hardware to something like an Apple TV or a streaming device that someone might be aware of so they can kind of grasp, how this is the same and how it's different?
Sure. Yeah, actually, that's a great way to compare things. So an Apple TV box is a little box like this big, and it's super cute, super tiny. And you plug that into your TV or whatever, and you play your movies from whichever streaming apps you have on the Apple TV. The difference with Kaleidescape is that we are two pieces of hardware that you purchase. One is the server, so that's sort of like the brain of your system. We call it Kaleidescape system. And so that's where the movies are downloaded from our movie store, which is basically in the cloud, to your local server, kind of the box in your home. And then we also have a movie player, which is a separate box. And then that is sort of network attached to your server, but throughout your home. So you can have a movie player in any room of your house or attached to any TV or projector. So the similarities are that they're both sort of boxes. With Kaleidescape, you need two, and they both play movies. And then the differences are that we actually download movies to the server so that you have a really pristine playback experience every time. So you're not streaming your movies from the internet. You're fully downloading your content.
And if I keep that comparison going between like an Apple TV and Kaleidescape, which is better quality video, which is better quality sound?
Yeah, so with Kaleidescape, we get our mezzanine files from the studios like other streaming platforms, but what we do is we take every effort to preserve all of the audio data. So we're the only digital provider with fully lossless audio, so including Atmos or DTSX. So we have lossless audio for basically anything from like PCM stereo to those Atmos, those immersive audio files. And then with the video quality, we're preserving the video data as well. So we have 10x the video and 10x the audio quality of average streaming throughput. So essentially, because you're not streaming, you're going to get that full experience in your audio or video equipment from the source, which would be Kaleidescape. So once you play your movie from us, you get all of that movie file data going through your receivers, your processor, your speakers, to your projector, to your screen, so that at the end experience, you really feel the immersive effects. Like you can hear the softest whispers, you can hear the explosions, you can feel the LFE coming through, all of that. So we really take care from our movie file perspective, like hardware aside, just to ensure that you're really getting that experience on the other end when you play the movie.
Yeah. My personal experience has been because we actually got to do a back-to-back comparison between streamed media and Kaleidescape on what I think was like nearly $1 million theater. In the video, I could tell a difference, I think. The audio, no question. It was incredible how much better it sounded and just how much better that experience was. And I think, as you said, that's that lossless audio, which is an interesting term, but probably to a homeowner doesn't mean much. But it really is a fantastic experience. And I'm guessing some of that has to do with the movie being downloaded as opposed to having to kind of the limitations of streaming it. And so I want to ask a question about that downloading. A few years ago, downloading a movie was, I mean, you would have to choose the day before to download it. And now I know that that has dramatically improved. Can you kind of talk about how much that's improved from a client experience standpoint?
Yeah. So for us, a few years ago, our system. So we're currently on like a Strato Terra system model, which is our 4K versions. And a few years ago, when we had our all-in-one systems, which was like a server and a movie player in one box, um, our downloading was a little bit slower because what happened is all the computing power in the system sort of took a little bit longer to do both of those functions, playback or downloading. So downloading a movie, like you said, could have taken maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on your internet connection. And if you live in the woods, could have been even longer, maybe a couple hours or a day, like you said. But nowadays, a couple of things have happened. So internet service providers have gotten a lot faster. For example, I've got one gigabit here at my house, and our newer products like the Terra Primes, the hard disk version will download a full 4K movie in as little as 8 minutes on a fast internet connection. Of course, again, it still depends on your actual internet connection. And then if we have a solid state model that we just introduced as well, and that gets even faster. So we have one of my coworkers who has like the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet is able to download movies in as little as 3 minutes. So it's instead of, tomorrow I want to watch this movie, it's more like I'm going to watch this movie, but I'm going to go pop my popcorn first, and then I'm going to go, sit down and it'll be ready, sort of thing.
Yeah,
So it's a
I
lot
could
faster.
probably download about a dozen movies in the time it takes to put my kids to bed. So that seems to not be the problem it used to be.
Right,
I
exactly.
want to ask a question about the interface, because I think one of the things that's also very different from, the Apple TV, or even worse, the Blu-ray player. I have an old Blu-ray player, which I think now, I mean, I almost go to sleep and get up between the time it takes to load one of those discs up. But one of the great differences, I think, in your product is the user interface. How do you describe what you've done that makes that so different?
Oh man, I could talk for a while about the user interface. It's so great. This is one of the things that got me hooked on Kaleidescape from, back in the day. Uh, the thing is that it's kind of built for movie lovers by movie lovers, and so we've made it really easy to navigate, and fun. We've got a covers view, which sort of like if you land on one cover in the middle, this is our iconic kind of view that we're known for, then the other movies that are similar to that will sort of swirl around, and so you can explore your collection that way, or you can go to another menu and search alphabetically, or you can search by director. You can even search by PG rating or whatever, especially if you have kids, or genre. So there's a lot of really easy to use functionality within the interface in that way, but it also makes your movie collection personal. So it takes all of your movies, it puts them in one place. So as opposed to, like you were saying, a Blu-ray player, which really one disc at a time, and then you have to fumble through all the menus, which takes forever. And I'm so spoiled now because I forgot what that was like until I visited some family, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is a Blu-ray menu. But we take that away because we bookmark the movies, and so movies just play right away. and it really, like I said, it personalizes it for you. So you have all of those movies that are the movies that you love, and they're in one place, and you can create different collections. You can create, sort of like an upcoming list of movies that you want to watch, or we create some collections that are automatically there for you. Like all of your new movies that you've downloaded will be in a new collection. And then if you play it and pause it, it'll go into a paused collection, that sort of thing. So we're really making it a lot easier. And I hate to keep comparing to streaming, but using both of them, it's much easier to find what you want to watch, I think, on Kaleidescape because of the navigability, instead of always having to default to search, or being fed content that you may or may not even want to watch, you may not be interested in. So it's really personal. I love that about it. You can really go as deep into the personalization as you really want to with Kaleidescape.
Yeah, again, I had the same experience. I Comparing it to streaming, I find trying to choose a movie on movie night for my wife and I, or especially our kids, to be a frustrating experience, because it is, let's go look at this app and see if there's anything we want over there. Oh no, we really want something from over here, and just kind of bouncing around, and it doesn't seem like there's really any order. It becomes kind of frustrating. And with Kaleidescape, my experience was it made it enjoyable. Like it was almost so much fun to look at the movies and to sort it by actor or genre or whatever. It was so much fun to play with it. I found it was harder to start a movie because I was having so much fun just playing with everything that was in that library. And it's so smart. I kind of, in my head, compare it to the feature on iPhones now where you can just type something into your Photos app and it just shows you all of the dogs in your pictures. Like all of a sudden, I'm finding images of things that I forgot about from years ago because it became so easy to look for it. And I think Kaleidescape is kind of the same way. I would watch the same movies over and over again, um, if left to my own devices. But Kaleidescape, I can kind of go look at the movie that I think I want to watch, and then it shows me 20 others, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's one that I haven't thought about in a long time, and I truly enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a question about the movies. You said there were like 17,000 or something. So, how many movies did you say that are downloadable?
So close. About
Oh,
over 14. So one day we'll have
14, 17.
17,000. We're on our
So,
way there.
so are these movies current movies, old movies, new movies? How, one of the things that people, the streaming services that Keith was talking about is, if I want the Disney, I have to go to Disney Plus, and if I want, the Paramount ones, I have to go to Paramount. And, tell us, what are those movies? Are they broad? Are they narrow? Are they old? Are they new? How do you decide what goes there?
Yeah, so we have all of those. We have the old, the new, the broad, the niche. We've got license agreements with over 50 studios, including all the majors. So, the Disney, the Paramount, Lionsgate, all of those. And so we do regularly get in the new releases, and we're always getting them in the best quality possible that they're available. So 4K, with Atmos or DTSX if they're available from the studio. And then we've got a bunch of classics, and we're always updating even classic movies into 4K whenever they become available from studios. We've got, niche studios like Music Box. We've got PBS documentaries. In fact, we're just releasing the Ken Burns, the Buffalo one, like this week, I think. And we've got me. So I'm a film studies major. So for me, I like to go down those deep dives in terms of older movies, and we've got a lot of like silent movies, for example. We've got opera. We've got
You said you have
TV
concerts?
series. We've concerts. Yeah, we've got concerts. We have deals with a few different music concert, studios. And so we've got a wide array of content. Of course, like I said, we've got over 14,000. So that means we don't have everything, but we have more than, I would say, most of the streaming platforms, especially since they're all, kind of bifurcated into different,
And with Kaleidescape, are you able to see movies at the same time they come out on streaming when they come out in the theater? Like, when are movies typically coming to Kaleidescape?
So we get movies as soon as other platforms get them for either, we call it sell through. So, because we're not a streaming platform, we get either for sale or for rental. So as soon as those windows are available for home entertainment, we get them. So as fast as any other platform. The only caveat to that is if there's an exclusive show on a specific streaming platform, we're not going to get that the same day that they have it on their platform because it's exclusive. But generally speaking, we get it, the same as iTunes or Vudu or any other of those
I
platforms.
watched at a home theater which had a Kaleidescape. I watched the opening of Top Gun, the original Top Gun, on a Kaleidescape, and it sounded, and they told me it was an updated soundtrack. It sounded completely different. So you're getting some special stuff as well, aren't you?
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's interesting that you point that out because studios are frequently updating their content, and so we will actually update our movie files as well, and then we will offer that to you. So if you've already purchased the movie and there's an update that comes through, you'll actually get a little notification on the bottom of your store account that says that you have an updated movie file, and you can go in and update your own movie file. We're not going to charge you extra for that, so it's a nice perk.
So Nigel mentioned Top Gun, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm curious, film studies major, you probably have an opinion. Do you have a favorite movie available on the Kaleidescape store?
A favorite movie? Oh my goodness, this is like the
Just
hardest
one.
question. Just one? Woo. Well, let me just say it this way. I go through favorite movie phases. So I will have a favorite movie at different periods of my life. And I would say right now, well, right now, my favorite movie for this year so far that I've seen is Oppenheimer.
Great
I have to
movie.
say, which is going to be available soon. Actually, we've already announced that it'll be available on Kaleidescape on, I think, November 21st. So I've already pre-ordered that. And then recently, I am a Nolan fan. This is true. We recently actually watched Interstellar with the family, and that one was just revisiting that from a few years ago. It was just really cool. The music really gets to you, and talking about the audio quality again, on you said you were in a really nice theater, million plus theater. Well, we've got a 2.1 channel system here, so not quite your Atmos, but honestly, like it's the sound just even on that can be just on a 2 channel can be fantastic coming from Kaleidescape. So
Well, I think you have my favorite, which is Citizen Kane, which is,
we
and
do.
I'd love to watch some of the silent stuff. My favorite period of cinema is 1914 to 1929, which is the transition from silent to sound. So you won't get a lot of the sound, but it's my specialty subject. Look, I think this, if you are a theater lover, then this is one of those must-haves that you need in your theater or even in your home. And I think it's great that a 2.1 or a lesser sound system, even that's going to get the benefit. Just the interface itself, you could lose a day climbing through that.
Yeah.
So listen, it's been great to have you with us, Amanda. I bet you we get even more questions about this, but we're excited to help any of our clients who want to get a Kaleidescape, to help them set it up and get into this great way of watching movies. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for your time.